Oke guys, kita lanjut ke game yang kedua ya, antara BTK melawan dari Bloodhounds. Seperti biasa guys ya, MOBA Zen kalau gak pakai tank ya fighter guys ya. Assassin mungkin dulu Cyberrom, kok Cyberrom lagi, Cyberrom kan balau ya. Ya intinya Saber sama si ini sih Isunsin ya dulu ya. Cuma lebih ke fighter sama tank jungler aja sih guys untuk MOBA Zen ya.
Trouble against basic. He needs to play this.
Wah, semalam ini pakai killing spree guys ya. Boleh.
Roger's also kind of bulky.
Sadis sih guys.
I think Bloodhounds have to know Uranus is going to be really hard to catch. They need to try to put pressure on the gold lane. Down goes Sleeps in the gold lane. First blood already. Basic tower
udah bang flicker mati guys.
And picks it up.
Yeah, and this goes back to kind of what you were saying earlier, where the side lanes of BTK is just so strong, but on the top side they are chasing the members of the other BTK members out of their jungle. It's, you know, it's going to be quite hard to deal with, especially the advantage that BTK has, the ability to be able to win lanes by themselves, right? Create space with Cold World and Nicolette and MOBA Zen with their rotations and try to get some of these 1 versus 1 advantages. That's what BTK is quite strong at here.
Alam's looking for something here, trying to find a target here. I think if Bloodhounds keep it patient, look for the play here. Bogarosco unable to connect and find nothing there.
Oh, digasin guys ya.
Turtle is up. Are they going to try to go for the contest? Do they maybe try to make a play at bottom here? MOBA Zen is taking a little bit of damage.
MOBA Zen.
Get pulled back.
Shikat.
Gets the taunt, gets the bonk, and Bogarosco goes down. MOBA Zen able to get the kill, and that's right before Turtle comes up. They're going to push it in even more.
Nah, Stoner mati juga. Boleh guys ya. Ini guys bahayanya kalau Nolan nggak dikasih buff biru ya.
Yeah, that's just the early aggression of
Falam ada retri Luna kan. Aduh tapi ya mati guys. Walaupun MOBA Zen nggak dapetin buffnya, yang penting mati juga sih. Ya sama aja untung bro. Soalnya dari MOBA Zen sendiri retrinya udah dipakai guys tadi guys.
Yeah, I mean, for the side of Bloodhounds, they really have to try to find a situation where they could win.
Nah ini guys ya, wah gila diraulin sampai gitu ya guys ya.
BTK set up is just paying so much dividends here. And look at Cold World, he's just 1 versus 4. He has no care in the world in that red buff and just walks through. It's a one-man show, and Cold World is just able to create the impact that he needs here.
Enaknya itu guys ya, main Hilda ya.
I feel like theoretically, Bloodhound should be able to catch Cold World when he's by himself. Wait a second, a little damage on a Stoner there.
Cikat, nah.
The bomb comes down, Stoner goes down, Falam still hiding under the tower, buffless, shirtless, in the cold right now, in his own jungle. BTK taking another solo kill in the bot side. It's 6-0, 3,000 gold lead.
Pertama guys ya.
Yeah, really does show that BTK.
Wah ini BTK udah snowball di awal gini enak banget bro guys nanti guys. Apalagi lawannya Nolan bro. Elah Nicolette gila kali. Si gadis pemberani guys ya. Nicolette.
It's very tough, right? For the side of Bloodhounds, especially with the new members coming in, it doesn't seem like it is enough. And even look at this, Cold Ultra gets popped solo, and Milo's on the backside.
Oh, the dive. Bogarosco in a little bit of trouble here. Nicolette still unable to get the kill just yet. Bogarosco has to go back. Don't go into that bush. Able to clear the wave. Bloodhound's so far behind right now.
Yeah, it's really hard, and even look at this, their aggression.
Slipsnya atur lagi sih guys. Aduh basic mati sih. Mati gak tuh? Wah masih aman bro gila. Ada Angela juga sih. Tapi Angela mid loh guys.
He was able to get some pickoffs quite early on. Has the gold lead now, almost doubling the gold of Sleeps with this late game Natan. And that's why I kind of wanted to go towards maybe like a Brody, right? Maybe a Brody into the Edith. They could get some pick-off potentials, maybe a frontline set, and maybe deal with some of the pressure and CC that Hilda has so early on. And especially if they cannot deal with the early aggression that BTK has set up quite well in game 1 and now game 2, Bloodhounds is going to struggle because they've not been known as a team that does well in the late game. And if you look at their draft, it's not always great late game either.
You know,
Milo.
Template able
Sleep
to get a kill.
mati, guys.
Sleeps though, but still a nice pick onto the top side.
Template
may go down.
sikat.
1v1 under the tower. Template's going to continue.
Mobazen, aduh, mati sih.
Can they get the kill? Yes. Picks it up. You see the reaction.
Tenang.
Little upset about that one. Bloodhounds finally, you know, throwing some punches back, and I like it.
It's a little bit more of a mistake on the side of BTK than I would say the outplay coming out from Bloodhounds, right? It's a little bit tough already. BTK is already with such a huge lead,
kedua, guys, ya.
And you know, even with the jungler down, the side of Bloodhounds, they're unable.
Basic ini dulu juga terkenal banget, guys, ya, dengan tauntingnya ya. Malah sekarang satu tim sama Mobazen, guys. Aduh.
Even look at Flam here, going potentially for the mid.
They're waiting for the market to correct itself, looking for the real estate. But the market's down bad right now for Bloodhounds. No real estate available at all. BTK does not want to let it happen. Big Minoan's Fury does not connect, and now Basic, maybe looking for the re-engage, has the heart guard, decides to go back. Turtle back up. This is the second one. We're 6 minutes in. Mielo kind of holding claim to it, taking it slow, waiting for Mobazen to finish up his purple buff.
Yeah, and you talked a little about real estate and investing here. I think for the side of Bloodhounds, maybe they gotta take one from that type of book, right? They have to hodl now, especially when they're down so much gold. They have to hold on to dear life, try to get into that late game, maybe get a better team fight setup, because quite honestly, Sleeps, he needs time to scale. Nolan also needs a lot of physical damage in order to get the burst that he needs. So maybe the hodl strategy, just trying to make sure they can prolong the game, try to keep BTK out of a lot of the kill pressures. And if Bloodhounds do decide to fight, they need to make sure that the fights are going to be in their favor.
You know, in the stock market, they call it having diamond hands. You know, you got to hold on. Even when things are down low, you got to hold on and wait for the rise. Can Bloodhounds have those diamond hands right here and hold on for dear life? Because stonks are definitely down. 5,300 gold down right now. Basic a little bit of trouble. The intro comes out. Basic on the wrong side of it. It Sleeps. Gets the shutdown. Cold World now also backing off. Mielo looking for the maybe come back, looking for the angle. Nicoletta Mobazen there as well. They were looking to take that tier 2 up top side, but Template holds on.
And you talked about if
Milo
is able to kind of hold it down. I do think they have it in their arsenal here. You can saw right there, the Minoan's Fury did catch Basic quite off. They have the frontline setups to be able to deal with the early aggression that Hilda provides. And Hilda is one of those heroes that doesn't make that big of an impact when it comes down to the late game, right? And if you look at BTK's comp, they don't necessarily have that strong of a late game. Uranus does scale infinite. Angela also scales quite well. But
iya, geprek gak tuh. Raul, aduh, basic udah dirasukin masa alah. Wah, harusnya barbarin aja sih, guys. Kalau udah dirasukin Angela, guys, all in aja, bro. Kalau ragu-ragu gitu ya udah, guys, ya mending mundur daripada dipaksain melawan nanti mati ya. Tapi feeling gue dengan draft kayak gini sih udah snowball di awal juga, BTK bisa menang lagi sih, guys.
They haven't lost any more towers since the last time we checked.
Cold World
gonna get pulled in here, needs to be careful. Bloodhound's trying to collapse onto him. A little bit of damage comes out. Oh, nice knock up. The Nolan's Fury comes down, only able to connect on to Nicolette there. But Mobazen in a bad spot. Looking for the bonk here. Doesn't have it to pop off. Lord back up. Bloodhounds don't want to push too long just yet. Heartguard able to connect onto Basic here. Gets a dive onto Boca. Boca doesn't have the Netherrealm. Goes down. Basic able to pick up the kill, and this should secure the first Lord.
It was a decent team fight setup for the side of Bloodhounds, but the members of BTK is just a little bit too fed. They weren't able to handle Mobazen. It was like a 3 versus 1 situation, and they still couldn't get out on top on that. But what the side of Bloodhounds do have is that they have this Natan, this late game damage, paired up with the physical damage of Falam. It might be hard to deal with, especially building up a lot of the defense there.
I mean, we are starting to see some, moments of possibilities from Bloodhounds. I think if the gold was even, their composition does have some ability to, maybe, win out on some team fights. They're kind of finding some groove here. Even though they're behind right now, they have found a couple pickoffs. But a 7,000 gold lead is a lot.
Cepat kali
It's
ya.
going to be a while until Bloodhounds can even things out to even be able to play in the ballpark.
Yeah, now with BTK just killing all the real estate that side of Bloodhounds have, they're going to be able to have all the jungle that they need to farm, and they're even just looking to siege onto the top side. The bully ball strategy that BTK has, even with less of a CC that they had in the last game, right? They have an Angela, they have a Hilda. Those are not very CC oriented. Even the Uranus, right? So they don't have a CC comp here, but there's definitely playing out the early game quite well. The Hilda
Oke. Udah tahu juga sih guys basic guys ya. Jadi ya, di Colette udah dikasih paham kalau nanti dirasuki aja itu basic ya, gitu ya. Soalnya udah pasti Roger diincer cuy, apalagi dia kan darahnya tipis banget ya.
Yeah, and now for the side of Bloodhounds, they don't really have too much of a choice besides hiding underneath their tower, right? You got Coldworld, you got Milo. These are two heroes that is so extremely hard to deal with, so extremely hard to get them onto the low HP bar. And look, even the bush pressure, Coldworld is just not scared.
Coldworld. Tawis banget loh.
Artguard doesn't commit, but still it's going to be put on to cool down there. Now could be a nice time for Bloodhounds to look for something, but Stoner doesn't have the No One's Fury, Sleeps, no Entropy, Falam, no Fracture. BTK still looking for an angle. They take the orange buff, and I mean they're playing this so clean. They're just slowly stacking up more and more gold. Now we're at 9,300. Lord up at 30 minutes. They're not freezing lanes exactly, but they're not just like full pushing.
And when we talk about the Nolan, right, especially when he's down in gold, he's not going to be able to have that much damage to penetrate. Utility jungle is able to pick up. So there, Bloodhounds is caught in a pretty dangerous situation where they may not have enough damage to answer the defense that's coming out from the Uranus, from the Hilda, and BTK with the early game advantage in the snowball, they're able to farm up so much gold and push that advantage close to almost 10k at 12 minutes, and they can't even deal with
tersisa 3 bestart sih guys.
BTK has, right? Coldworld
50-50 sih kalau ini mau end juga ya.
Also is not scared to face anyone. He's just like, hey guys, this is my jungle. No, you cannot come here anymore.
Milo. Sadis. Waduh, darah putihnya langsung full gitu guys ya. Ini sumpah loh guys, dari tim Mobile Legends ini darahnya itu gampang penuh guys. Tinggal dirasuki Angela gitu ya. Cooldownnya lumayan cepet juga gitu. Apalagi Mobile Legends ada Guardian Helmet kan. Basic pun walaupun tipis juga enak bro. Ada Nicolette.
Right, and the sustain is there. They have Boka using the Nether Realm. Like the possibility of Bloodhounds being able to flip some of these fights is definitely possible. It's just if BTK is going to be able to get caught off here, right? Is the backlines in a safe position, and even with basic recalling here, he is half health, so that might stop on this objective, and maybe they could get a pick off here.
A little bit of damage on Mielo. Lord able to get the crack onto the bottom inhibitor. Down it goes. Bloodhounds now still defending. Basic chips down onto the top inhibitor. Bloodhounds still playing it safe, and I think this is the right move. Sleeps able to take out the Lord. They lose 2 inhibitors for that, but I don't think they're going to go down just yet. Falam gets a little bit of damage on Mielo. He gets it back pretty quickly. More poke damage coming from Basic. BTK looking for the mid inhib. Right now, Mobazane also playing the angle. Watch for Coldworld. Any moment to strike. Another wave of minions crash down the top side. Bloodhound's defenses come up though. They don't overcommit. They don't try to, they don't pop off any crazy Minoan's Fury. They want BTK to come to them. They know they have the bottleneck answer here. BTK's got to come into their territory if they want to finish this. Otherwise, Bloodhounds is just going to bide more time. And I like the way BTK's doing it as well. They're just kind of testing. They're throwing it a little bit from the left, a little bit from the right. Waiting for Bloodhounds to come in. And there comes the Nolan's Fury. A lot of damage on Mielo. Second up by another knock-up. More damage on Mielo, but he's still up. Bloodhounds now down the Entropy. Down the Minoan's Fury. A little bit of damage comes on a Tempest there. Mielo backs off, and BTK backs off as well.
Turret milik BTK cuma tumbang satu doang, guys. Itu pun turret tengah ya.
To have the discipline to slowly choke down that mid tower, right? There's no full commit, there's no
udah pasti nunggu Lord ketiga sih, bro, kalau kayak gini, bro. Kecuali kalau ada momen, guys, ya.
Oriented. They know, you know, they have the experience, they know they have the past, and they've shown the results, and they've been able to go through some of the top teams in North America. And this time around, they're not playing it easy here. They're taking this best of 5 series full on serious. They want a sweep coming through.
Tas-tasin dulu guys sih, bro.
They are still trying to defend against the pressure that BTK has set up, and look at this. They're just unable to get any pick-offs. BTK, they're almost just farming statistics here. We should see quite a huge sandbag coming out from either the Uranus or even the Hilda from the BTK side.
You know, you said something when this game first started. BTK lacks CC, right? They lack crowd control. Yeah. They have none on the XP lane. No Arla, right? They went for this Uranus. Cold World went for
Milo.
You know, this Hilda, which is more of a early game bully, but you lose CC in late game. And then you're right. You also have the Angela. So BTK has no way to really do that bully attack, really push in, and they know that even though they're so far ahead in gold, if they overcommit,
enaknya Cold War itu gak usah balik guys ya, dia darahnya bisa nambah lagi, bro. Tinggal sembunyi di rumput ya. Makanya kalau kalian kaum pemalas mending pick Hilda guys, kalau mau jadi roamer ya. Kaum pemalas gitu ya, tinggal tabok doang gitu, males balik gitu ya, itu Hilda tuh, bro, cocok gitu.
It does provide a lot of CC and clearing, and of course the Natan and the Nolan, it's a very mixed damage composition, so it's very hard to defend against. But BTK, even with no CC, it feels like they're still playing it quite well. They're not really looking for team fights. They're looking to get maybe 1 or 2 ultimates out of Bloodhounds before they look
kita lihat aja, bro ya. Basic. Gila lo, itu sakit bener. Nah, kan diraulin guys. Lah ya udah sih. Gila lo, dibawa sampai best, bro. lah Raul lah. Masih aman guys.
It's a 2-for-1 right now because the passive from that Fermis, it feels like
itu gara-gara Raulnya tadi ketarik sampai base ya.
Another Lord push. BTK still unable to crack the defenses. Falam still on the field as Sleeps chips away at the minions.
Milo.
BTK unable to find a way in, and Milo's getting more and more shredded every single moment.
Ya. Nah, Sleep. Jangan turun lagi, Sleep. Oke. Gila guys, masih aman guys. Oh my lord. Boleh. Udah. Dari Bloodhound pun jangan terlalu maju sih.
That might be what BTK is kind of lacking in terms of that late game. Roger is very good early, has a lot of sustain, has a lot of armor, but doesn't have kind of like the raw damage output that something like a Carry or a Claude has, right? They don't have a full-on mage bursting. They have Milo for magic damage and Angela. So the BTK, they still have a lot of weaknesses in this draft. It's a very aggressive early game draft. They got the snowball that they were looking for. The Hilda has been unkillable. Same thing with the Uranus. So things are going in favor of BTK. But the side of Bloodhounds, they have the ability to team fight. They have AoE CC. Their front to back is extremely hard to deal with. They also have the mixed damage, right? So the later the game goes, the more even.
Udah menit 18 guys ya. Cuman di sini Bloodhound cuma dapetin 4 kill doang, bro.
Get that victory in the team fight to be able to seal the deal and pick off maybe majority of the members, because in most of these fights right now, BTK, they're only able to get like 1 or 2
sambil nunggu Lord keempat guys ya.
You get the Fermis just comes out right back alive here.
Yeah, let's be honest, this is starting to feel comebackable. The only problem is I almost want to think they should contest this Lord here, man, because this Lord right here is going to be a chunky boy. and it might buy BTK enough time just to be able to free hit onto the base here. BTK can't end this without a Lord, I feel like. I don't think they can even really completely come out on top of a fight right now in Bloodhound's base without a Lord. With this Lord, I think this is the one BTK has to end it here. Because at that point, Bloodhound's going to be around that 60k gold mark. Everyone's going to be maxed out on items. There's not going to be much of an advantage anymore. And at that point, BTK's only real win con is just macro play. Luckily, they have the Angela. They can always play the off lanes. But Bloodhounds is going to start having the opportunity to kind of come out on top in team fights.
Well, you know, the Roger doesn't have that huge of a damage output when it comes down to being full items. Has a great burst, has a great kind of like the decimation of the Martis.
Dari mid ya. Ini kalau sampai nggak end parah banget sih guys, sumpah. Antara parah banget dari BTK dan terlalu kuat dari Bloodhounds ya. Mencari yang tipis-tipis dulu bro.
With how much Bloodhound has in order to defend against it.
And the timing.
Basicnya berusaha langsung sih. Tapi Falam.
Basic still playing the angle. Flam also still hanging out. Lord getting melted down to world low.
Oh my lord. Kan Faramisnya. Nah, base-nya guys ya. Base fokus base coy. Nah, gila guys ya. 20 menit 57 detik guys ya. Gila. Boleh. Oke lagi sih kita lanjut ke game yang ketiga bro, bye bye.